Yo, what's up? Decided to do something new here with Zwift. Eldo Race Series crit going on. Just happened tonight, April 7th. We're gonna hop right in. So what you're looking at right now is the paddock, as we call it. This is the area where you can get in early. It's basically staging, right? You're on a virtual trainer. There's a countdown. You could start staging at least 30 minutes before the start. I went in 30 minutes and just been sitting here waiting. And we get the 10-second countdown starting now, and the race will be underway. And as you will see, the watts will be very high. I try not to go too hard, but look, all right, just at about 540, 560. I did a couple efforts before the start of the race where I was doing like 900 watts for about 2-3 seconds, and then I brought it down to about 500 for about 10 seconds, and then I tried to hold about 400 for 30 seconds, which honestly is kind of what you need for these events. And luckily for me, but maybe not so luckily, and you will see later, the race didn't start off super fast like it did last week. So I was like, oh, sweet, it's not going to be too hard. I can hang on. I'm not doing crazy watts right now. 350, 370. That's totally within my wheelhouse. But and I felt horrible today. I mean, look at my heart rate. It shot up to 165. That wasn't a good sign. The legs felt like just dead. And I think part of the problem is I had a really good ride Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I did almost 100K on Sunday, and then I didn't do anything yesterday. And so the legs felt like it needed like a warm up a little longer, and maybe I should have warmed up for about an hour versus 20 minutes. Anyway, this is the only incline. You can see it's 5%. And then when you get here, it feels like real life right there. It's like, you kind of get over that hump. And then you get a little downhill here. And I'm giving you guys basically a preview of the entire crit course here. Right now, you're headed back towards the start finish. You make a little slight right at the end of this road, and you get these little 3-4 little rollers. Don't look like much, but when you're going hard, you definitely feel it. So my strategy here is always to spin up this. So I was doing 89 RPMs. You see it shot up to about 121. Then I would do it again, 122, 123. Then I would do it again. And then this very little one don't look like much, but it hurts you too. So right now, heart rate 172. I'm like, all right, come on, man. Just try to relax. Hold the wheel. So I had to push a little bit to get back on the wheel. You can see that heads up display tells you when you're off the wheel. So you go through this finishing arch right here, and every time you go through the arch, you can see those power-ups being toggled through. And I'm always wishing for the feather. That burrito right there makes you undraftable when you click that. I don't need that right now in a crit race. What I need is like the truck for double drafting, or the feather to help me go up the little climb a little better. Right in front of me is Diego from Legion. He's fairly new to Zwifting, so it's always cool to see him in the real world, but super cool to see him now in the virtual world. It's funny because like a guy like him in the real world, he's going to be at the front of a race. Even myself, but Zwifting is different, and there's no learning curve for me because I definitely know what I'm doing now. There's more of a lack of, I guess, fitness. I don't know what you call it. I feel like I have some fitness, but it's totally different. So here's where I made my mistake. We started to commingle with other groups. So there was 4 different groups on the course. We were all staggered by a minute, but because the speeds were so high in the A's, we are now catching, I think, the C group already. And it was hard to differentiate who was in your group and who wasn't. You can see a lot of Bahati jerseys being passed there. And if you look on the right-hand side, I'm in 23rd place out of 33, so I'm at the back. And then you could start looking at the all the A's and how far they are in front of you. So I have someone 3 seconds in front of me, 4 seconds in front of me. That's actually a lot in Zwift racing. So when you're 5, 6, 7 seconds off the back of a group, you can forget about it, man. You're not. It's almost impossible to catch back on, especially when you're redlining. I'm at 170 already. It's not red line for me, but early in the race to have a heart rate that high is not too well. That's an endurance heart rate for me, meaning I could ride at 170 for hours, but today just wasn't cracking. So I'm getting dropped. No point about it right here. Look, 10 seconds, 13 seconds. You could look up and see one of the Williams brothers is 13 seconds in front of me. One of my colleagues, Nick Paul, he's in front by 12 seconds. He's doing 7.5 watts per kilo at that point, and I'm barely doing 4 watts per kilo, and that ain't gonna happen. So I'm not gonna say I threw in the flag or threw up the white flag, but I was just like trying to calm down and just ride now. If you look at the mini map on the top right hand corner, you could see where the rest of the group is, and the red dots are the A's, and the blue dots are the C's, I believe, and the orange is the B's, and then you also have the ladies out there. Maybe they are yellow. I can't remember right now. But anyway, now I'm just in this small group. I'm commingled with some probably some C's. I see Steve Netter in front of me, and for those who don't know about Zwift racing or Zwift at all, you see this bike in front of me that's glowing. That's the Tron bike. So you get that bike by climbing X amount of meters or feet, which is a lot. And you can opt into that competition. Anyway, so here's what I did. I'm off the back. Nothing's going to happen. I'm actually still pedaling, but what I did is I moved to the first place rider in the A. So we're watching, I think his name is Tyler Williams from Legion of LA. He's there. Legion doesn't have a kit in the game yet, so I'm working on that. They definitely deserve to have their uniform in the game, so when they're doing these events and these races and stuff like that, they can represent instead of having the generic jersey. And so these two are off the front. These are that's first place right there from Big Orange, and second place Legion. So I'm able to follow them, and I'm doing that by using my Zwift companion app. I'm able to just change the angle. As you can see, I'm just kind of playing around. This is the first time I've done this, so bear with me. It's not the best, but it's something I'm going to work on and hopefully bring some commentary and some video analysis of these races. So yeah, I'm following second place right now. It's pretty cool. You can also see how far ahead they are of everyone. You can't even see third place on the lineup list on the right. You can see some B's, you can see some C's. You don't see any red dots on the right hand side with the names, so that means they're at least 10 seconds in front of everyone. So yeah, they're crushing it. And then you'll probably see somewhere, I remember I was trying to find Justin or Corey somewhere in here. But this rider, he's doing 462 watts. His RPMs are fairly low. He doesn't have a heart rate strap on, so it'd be interesting to see what heart rate he was doing. So I skipped back to me just to see where I was at in the world, because of course I couldn't see, but I just kept the pedals going. So I'm still in 23rd without even looking at my avatar, as I was looking at first and second place, crush everyone. And I'm just kind of cruising along, and heart rate dropped down, so that was good. Starting to feel a little better. I've completed 8 of the 10 laps, and so here it is. I caught up with Nation's #1 beast, which is Corey Williams, one of the leaders of Legion of LA, and this is a pretty cool kind of like onboard camera. Corey is right there in that lavender looking jersey right there with all the ride-ons in his back pocket. So if you look in the back pocket, you see a lot of the riders have those light blue little things hanging out. Those are virtual thumbs up, basically. Zwift calls them ride-ons. There's some right there. So you get one, and they fall into your back pocket. That's our way of saying good job. And for those of you who follow other Zwifters, you can give a ride on to anyone if they're racing, training, doing group rides, or whatever it may be. So Corey is sitting in 10th place. So he's pretty far behind. Let me see. I see some other Nick. Nick is right there. That's my colleague from work. You can see he has the Z next to his name. That means he's a Zwift employee. That's one way to identify a Zwift employee out there. Let's see if I recognize any other names. Not really. Things are moving kind of fast. Anyway, they will be going into their last lap pretty soon. And you will see really nice shot from the gameplay of how you could watch this helicopter view. Really super cool. That's not me doing that. That's the game just kind of doing it on its own, which is pretty dope. And still following Corey here. They will be coming. Yeah, they're getting ready to go up the hill, which at this point in the race probably hurts pretty much everyone. So there's the cobbled brick climb right there that sweeps through this little cathedral downtown looking area. Like I said, it maxes out at 6%. And right here, I swear to you, it feels like 10%. But it's just the top of the climb. And then you descend down, do these little whoop-de-whoops rollers, and then they will go to the finish for the sprint. So I'm pretty excited about what I have created here. My mind is kind of rolling here. I got some good ideas of how I could really bring this to people who want to watch. I had some people in my DM today who wanted to watch. You know, they're not Zwifters, but they're fans of the sport, and they just wanted to watch. I skipped back to my slow self for some reason, but we're back to Corey, and I believe they are sprinting. So if you look on the right-hand side, you see those orange numbers popping up, 9.4 watts per kilo, 10.8 watts per kilo. So that's the group getting ready to sprint. And there they are around in the last corner. The camera angle should change, and you should be able to see Corey. There's Corey right there sprinting using his feather power-up, and he finished 8th place. So yeah, good result. Looked like my colleague actually beat Nick to the finish, and there's the results. One thing that stands out, Big Orange Rider, I'm not sure how he's holding, averaging 578 watts per kilo. Oh man, but that's pretty insane that you could average that. And there's the B group, John Davy winning 2 weeks in a row, and then I thought I had some results of the C and D group, but that's just me kind of cruising along. I should be finishing up in the next. If you look on the heads-up display, you could see right at the very bottom where it says lap 10 out of 10. I have 0.6 kilometers to go, so 600 meters roughly to the finish, and once I cross the finish line, I will have some results up. I will do a better job. I actually need a little bit of help doing it. I was trying to race and do this at the same time, which is pretty difficult. So might have to hire one of my kids to help me out so I can capture the race and make sure I capture the results. But all in all, good learning experience. I got my butt kicked most of the time. I do. My best placing in Zwift ever in the last 3 years is a 3rd place. So with all the training I'm doing and a little bit of racing like this, hopefully by the time we get off punishment, I'll have some fitness. So 100 meters to go. There's the finish. I'll have some results pop up right after this, where you can see, I think, the C's and the women's race results. So I finished, let's see how far down. I finished 21st, averaged 275 watts per kilo. 275 watts. That's 3.8 watts per kilo. So that was for the A's. We had 40 plus people do the A's. So I guess it's all right for getting dropped pretty bad. Let's see who else we got here. I should be able to roll over to the B's and then check out the C's and then the D's. Maybe not. That was it. Thanks for watching, folks, and we'll be back next week. All right, peace.